Did you know that the Bible talks about bad leaders too? Proverbs 28:3 tells us, "A ruler who oppresses the poor is like a driving rain that leaves no crops." Yikes. Continuing on in verse 15 and 16, we read, "A wicked ruler is as dangerous to the poor as a roaring lion or an attacking bear. A ruler with no understanding will oppress his people. The one who hates corruption will have a long life." Put simply, bad leaders are in it for themselves. It's about the fame or the power or the prestige that they have in their leadership position. It's about their pride and personal ambition. They're selfish and they're always looking out for number one. They don't really care about their followers. They're just a means to an end. Therefore, they end up using their followers for their own gain, ultimately depriving, oppressing, and burdening their followers. Bad leaders aren't accountable either, and they tend to blame others rather than take responsibility if things go wrong. They're hypocrites in every way. Not good. So what does a good leader look like? There are so many examples in the Bible of good leaders. Let's start with Joseph. You may or may not know his story. He was one of 12 sons born to Jacob. In fact, he was Jacob's favorite son, which caused his brothers to hate him and be very jealous. The brothers ended up selling him to some passing travelers as a slave, and they took him down to Egypt and they sold him to Potiphar, the captain of the guard in Egypt. It's a long story that's well worth the read if you're not familiar with it. You can find it in Genesis chapters 37 to 50. Bottom line in his case, after a long set of trials and struggles, he eventually ended up interpreting a dream for Pharaoh and being put in charge of all of Pharaoh's holdings in order to prepare for an upcoming famine that God had warned Pharaoh about in his dream. Joseph was an excellent manager who led the people of Egypt to prepare for the 7-year famine and ended up saving not only their lives, but the lives of surrounding nations and people groups, including the lives of his own brothers who had sold him into slavery in the first place. Joseph was able to keep a long-term perspective, genuinely cared about the people under his authority, and was disciplined about preparing for difficult times that could come. These are just some of the qualities of a good leader that he exemplified. In tomorrow's video, we'll review a list of 20 qualities that most good leaders have in common. It's a great list. See you then.